Hello, and welcome to my home. My name is John Epschel-Hetkin. I'm an activist, a writer, and a speaker for the LGBT community. I would like to share my story with you. It's not an easy one to tell, but it does have a happy ending. Since I was a teenager, I knew I was gay. Unfortunately, I was terrified of coming out due to the fear of rejection and the fear of disappointing my family. My parents, being Polish, expected me to have a nice Polish girl, have Polish babies, and live what they called a normal life. Well, at the age of 18, I told my parents that I had an attraction to men and that possibly I was gay. Well, it was not well taken, and the first thing they did was find me a psychiatrist because they thought I was sick. For full 2 years, I would sit in a chair and listen to my parents and the psychiatrist tell me that homosexuality was an illness and that I would overcome it. Well, for the sake of peace and to get away from the things they were putting into my head, I told them they were right, that it was just a phase and now it was over. Well, they were overjoyed and started hunting for the perfect Polish wife for me. They were in such a hurry because they didn't want me to fall back into being gay. They found me the Polish wife, and they had their rosaries out, thanking God that they had changed me, and now I would live a normal life with a Polish wife and have those Polish grandchildren they always dreamed of. Well, my life as a married man wasn't easy. I had my attractions to men, but I didn't act upon them due to the fact that I had values and I knew I had to keep my vows of marriage. In a way, I lived in my own personal hell. I admit that during my marriage I was blessed with beautiful children, 3 sons and a daughter. I admit that it was difficult for my wife as well at times, because I was lacking in the bedroom, and I could see she was unhappy. She started looking elsewhere for her sexual needs, and our marriage started falling apart. It became apparent that I would need to leave this marriage so that I could make my wife happy and also make myself happy. So we went our separate ways and we divorced, and this is when I came out. Unfortunately, my ex-wife took it very badly. She did her utmost to make my life a living hell, from keeping me from seeing my children to accusing me of sexually assaulting my sons. When the courts couldn't see any evidence of any wrongdoing on my part, we were both given joint custody. That is when things turned for the worse. My wife took her anger out and hate for me on our children, and they were physically and mentally abused by her. My 3 younger sons couldn't take it anymore, and so they ran away and came to live with me. My ex-wife and I wound up back in court, where I became the custodial parent and she got visitation. During this time as well, I was venturing into the gay scene. Unfortunately, my gay dating life at first was difficult. Many guys liked me, but when they found out that I had children, it was as if I was infected by a disease. No guy seemed to want a man who had slept with a woman in the past and had children. Finally, I found a man who always dreamed of having a family, and we started dating. My children also became very fond of the guy I was dating. My ex-wife, on the other hand, was livid and again took it out on my kids. My sons would return from their mother's home after weekend visits, full of bruises, dirty, and extremely hungry. I would ask what happened, and I found out that their mother would starve them and beat them. I was heartbroken, but I didn't know what to do. My boyfriend was there for me, and he stood up for the children and me. He was like my knight in shining armor. I sat down with my kids and told them how I felt about this guy I was seeing, and asked them if they minded I took the relationship to the next step. A few months later, my boyfriend at the time, Yvonne, my three youngest sons, and myself all moved into a large apartment together. Life was wonderful, and we all felt like a family. Due to this feeling, one day I got down on one knee and I proposed marriage to Yvonne. In Canada, gay marriage is legal. Yvonne said yes, and preparations were underway for our wedding. At the same time, I had been working many years as a teacher. My ex-wife took my upcoming marriage very badly, and again the boys suffered greatly, both physically and mentally, at her hands. Also, my sexuality in upcoming marriage became a problem for the school board I was working for. They did not feel that my marriage and my homosexuality fit with the morals of the school board. They couldn't fire me, but they did everything they could to make my life difficult. Then, as a last resort, they offered me a retirement package, which I finally accepted, because I was tired of how I was treated and wanted an end to all the controversy. It was at that moment I decided that I would change my life around and make it better. Yvonne and I married, and I received a severance package from the school board, and we bought a large home together about an hour out of the city where we used to live and my ex-wife resides. Yvonne and I decided that together we would stop the hell my wife was putting the kids through due to my homosexuality and now my marriage to another man. We reported the abuse that my children suffered at the hands of their mother, and we went to court, and Yvonne and I were given sole custody of the kids, and a restraining order was put against my ex-wife. Life was taking a big turn for the better. It was then that I decided I did not want others to face the same problems I had faced in the past, and I became an activist, writer, and speaker in the LGBT community. I began to take interest in all happenings. I took my place in the community by fighting for the rights in all countries, not just Canada. My voice and my pen became my weapons. I joined a number of Facebook groups who fight for equality. I then became a writer for a LGBT couples magazine called 10,000couples.com, where I'm not just the writer now, but also an associate editor. I became an advocate for LGBT marriage, parenthood, and for the rights of LGBT teens and seniors. At the moment, I'm in the works of hosting my own radio show on LGBT rights in the near future. I also plan to write a book on gay marriage and parenting. I know that life is tough and there are many obstacles in the way. I have faced them and I came out a stronger person for it. You can too. Together, we can all face the world and make it a better place. I thank you all for giving me this few minutes to talk to you. I hope I've been able to change your life for the better and show you that even though there may be adversity, you can overcome it all and become a better person for it. I love you all.